Hello everyone, I'm meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 10 a.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now we've got news out of Craven County where a man is now facing drug charges after police say they found various drugs at his home during an investigation on Tuesday. Craven County Sheriff's Office said 37-year-old Michael Tripp as a suspect who may have given drugs to many people in the Craven County area who experienced non-fatal overdoses. Deputies say they were able to find out that the drugs sold to the victims were sold by Tripp, which led them to get a search warrant at his home at 8450 U.S. Highway 17 North. Now, deputies conducted a traffic stop on Tripp, which led them to getting probable cause to search his home. According to deputies, they found fentanyl, ecstasy, marijuana, and $6,000 in cash. Tripp has been charged with 2 counts of felony trafficking opium and heroin, felony possession with intent to manufacture, sell, and deliver MDA, MDMA, and felony maintaining a vehicle, dwelling, or place for sale of controlled substances. Now, Tripp was sentenced to prison back in July 2018 for drug offenses and released in April of 2024. Tripp is now being held in the Craven County Detention Center under a $2 million bond. Now, in other news, again, want to highlight a story out of Kinston where a man is now facing gun charges after pointing a weapon at his family members. Again, Kinston police were called to a reported disturbance in the 900 block of Herbert Drive at around 10:30 p.m. yesterday evening. When they arrived, officers say they found that 59-year-old Roderick Couples was arguing with a family member when he pointed a gun at them. Police say they recovered the gun and took Couples into custody. Now, he's been charged with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon and assault by pointing a gun. He was taken to the Lenoir County Jail and booked without bond due to being out on pretrial release. And now we need to highlight your weather forecast for today. It's looking warm. Some areas will be hot, but many inland areas again will be avoiding the heat advisory type of heat that we've experienced so far this week. Let's take a look at what we've got outside right now. Currently 83 degrees in New Bern along the Neuse River. We do have rain showers and clouds working their way across parts of eastern North Carolina that will keep some areas noticeably cooler today than where we've been over the past several days. Now, of course, the real cool down comes this coming weekend, but you know what? If we want to start things off a little bit early cool down, all good by me. 83 degrees right now, feels like 91 thanks to a 76-degree dew point. A southerly wind coming in at about 7 miles an hour will try to keep that humidity elevated today. We're continuing to track some of those showers and thunderstorms as they move across parts of the east. So far today, the soggiest areas have been those closer to the Crystal Coast, particularly across Pender, Onslow, Carteret, and southern Craven counties. Let's zoom it in on what we're seeing a little bit further north, though. Right now, Kinston about to get just a few raindrops coming in. Winterville as well. Southern Greenville, we seeing some rain showers. Bath right now getting stuck under a little downpour. And then we also have some scattered showers kind of cruising up the mainland Hyde County coast. Engelhard, you're probably about, I'd give it about 15 maybe 20 minutes from some rain showers heading your direction. Well, they're heading your direction. I'd say 15-25 minutes until they actually arrive in Engelhard. But again, very scattered stuff, really scattered across the east. Nothing, again, completely widespread. The rain showers that we will see today, at least during the daylight hours, will likely last for maybe about 15-30 minutes, and then they'll be done. They'll dry up again, only to potentially be replaced later on this evening by more rain showers. Current air temperatures right now reading in the 80s throughout eastern North Carolina. We've got 81 degrees in Kenansville. Compare that to 89 degrees in Swan Quarter, and there is your range. It is going to, again, be one of those days where we do reach the low 90s across many inland areas, but the clouds and the rain showers will do what they can to keep many from reaching the low 90s. However, it already feels like we are well into the 90s for many eastern North Carolinians, and some are even feeling like we're in the triple digits. Right now, feels like 108 in Greenville, 107 in Edenton, 104 in Swan Quarter. Now, of course, higher humidity is likely the culprit there, as those areas with that higher feels like temperature are reporting dew points in the 80s. That is very high for dew points. Very, very high, tropical even. It's all due to the southwesterly wind that's present throughout eastern North Carolina. Right now, that wind coming in at about 5 to 10 miles an hour should pick up maybe a few more clicks later on this afternoon, but I do think, again, more of a 6 to 12 mile per hour breeze expected out of the south-southwest for the tail end of today. Will feature again some scattered showers and perhaps maybe a few thunderstorms, but temperatures not going to get quite as warm today as where we've been over the past few days, and that's going to be a trend that takes us all the way into the weekend. Here's what we've got coming up for tomorrow. Starting out in the mid-70s, air temperatures most likely topping out around mid-80s. Some areas may try to creep up into the upper 80s, but it's going to be difficult, especially with the cloud will be present through the day tomorrow afternoon. And it's all due to this cold front that will be kind of lingering around eastern North Carolina for really tonight, through tomorrow, and then into your Saturday morning. But through the day on Saturday, this frontal system again will start to pull further and further away from the east. Here's a look at what we've got for tomorrow morning. Will be south of eastern North Carolina, but watch, we've got to get that area low pressure over Kentucky down to our south before that cooler and drier air fully rolls in. And it's going to take its time. Even by the time we get to Friday evening at around 9 p.m., that low pressure system is essentially going to be on the same latitude as eastern North Carolina. We got to get it down to our south. And that's coming up on Saturday, and that's why again we are anticipating that cooler feel, that more comfortable air to really take hold through the day on Saturday. We will wake up to a little bit of humidity there as we kick off the weekend, but then through Saturday everything will really start to cool down and dry out, at least in terms of humidity. Coast rain showers will likely remain, certainly for Saturday, potentially even for Sunday, as that frontal boundary will stall near the coast and create just an opportunity for perpetual rain showers. Now, 80 degrees on Saturday means that most of the day is actually going to be spent in the 70s. And then we get to 81 Sunday, 83 Monday, 86 Tuesday and Wednesday, and 88 by Thursday, which means once we get done with the 90s today, we should be done with the 90s for at least the next 7, possibly 8 days. And that's something we haven't been able to say really since early June so far this summer, where we've had this stretch of cool air. So do what you can to take advantage of it, soak it up, because I do anticipate the 90s will be back in full as we head through the middle portion of August. Well, that's all we have time for today's 10 a.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back with more news and weather coming up at the top of the hour. Until then, I hope you all have a wonderful Thursday.
This hour of the WITN First Alert Desk is sponsored at Realty.